what should you do now? Since you have heard my lecture, what is the purpose of life? And I've clearly said in that lecture, Allah says in the Quran in Surah Dhariyat, chapter number 51, verse number 56, وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ, that Allah has created the jinn and the men not but to worship Him. So the primary duty of the men and the jinn is to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Regarding a question that what should he do now? What profession should he take? And I've said this earlier today, I've said in many of my answers before, that the best profession that a Muslim can choose is profession of a da'i. Allah says in the Quran in Surah Fussilat, chapter number 41, verse number 33, وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ قَالَ مِمَّنْ دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ وَعَمِلَ صَالِحًا وَقَالَ إِنَّنِي مِنَ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. Who is better in speech than one who invites to the way of thy Lord, works righteousness, and says that I'm a Muslim? So the best profession according to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the glorious Quran is the profession of a person who calls people towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is the profession of a da'i. What was the profession of the beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? It was to convey the message. It was that of a da'i. And after the messengers have exhausted and no other messenger will come, our beloved Prophet said, it is the role of the da'is and the scholars to continue spreading the message. So the best profession is that of a da'i. Regarding a question, you wanted to become a scientist like Isaac Newton, and what should you do now? Becoming a scientist like Isaac Newton is not haram. Learning science and becoming a scientist is not haram, but will you be able to fulfill the purpose of your life is very important. Now let us understand the pros and cons. For example, you said you want to become like Isaac Newton. First I'll ask you that how good are you in physics? People want to do many things, but they come to know that they aren't good in it just because you heard someone or you thought it's very good, but you may not be practically good. So first I would like to ask you that how are your marks in physics? What is your score? How much have you got out of 100? Is it 95? Is it 98? Is it 99? If it's really very good, that means you're good. If it's not, then why waste your time? So come back to your question. If you are really good in physics and you want to be a scientist, what are the chances that you will become a scientist like Isaac Newton? You know, there are billions of human beings in the world that have come from the start till today. How many scientists are there? There are millions of scientists that have come in the world. How many Isaac Newton do you have? Only one. So the chance that you will become like Isaac Newton is 1 in 10 million, 0.00001%. 0.0000001%. Okay, you say that I want to be among the top 100 scientists, maybe a scientist who has got the Nobel Prize. So if you count all the number of scientists who have got Nobel Prize, and there may be 100 scientists in the world. The chances that amongst the millions of scientists, you will become one like 100 would be again 0.00001%. How many scientists really make a difference to the world? Maybe few hundred or few thousand. Again, the chances is 0.001%. So if you become a scientist, you should be good first. The chances you become Isaac Newton is 0.00001%. A chances that you become one of the top 100 scientists like getting Nobel Prize is 0.001%. The chances you become a scientist that will be beneficial for the world is again 0.00%, 0.001%, 1 in 1,000, 1 in 10,000. So if you become a scientist first, it's difficult. The chance is so less. And if you don't reach that level, what is the advantage? What benefit can you do to the world? What benefit can you do to the ummah? Now compared to a da'i, imagine if you become a da'i or a scholar like Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah. Fine, there are millions of scholars. You will become one like Shaykh al-Islam, or millions of da'is, it's 0.001%. Or you become like a da'i, like Sheikh Ahmad Deedat. Okay, there are thousands of da'i. The chance to become like Ahmad Deedat is maybe 0.001%. or you may just become a normal dai. Now, if you compare to a scientist like Isaac Newton or a dai, whether it be like Sheikhul Islam Ibn Taymiyyah or Sheikh Ahmed Deedat, or like a normal dai, even if you are a normal dai, the lowest in the world, as long as you're propagating Islam, the Quran and Hadith, it will be multiple times better in your akhirah than becoming a scientist like Isaac Newton. Because the dawa profession is far superior. The lowest dai is better than the best scientist of the world. So my advice to you would be that first you should see how good are you in physics, and then if you have the acumen and if you have the ability, yet I would say first become a dai, and then if time permits you or if you have the ability, you have the acumen, you can also become a scientist. But number one is, don't forget to be a good dai. To become a good dai, see to it that you learn dawah, see to it you join an Islamic university which is authentic, based on Quran and Sunnah. See you do your bachelor's, see to it you do your master's, see to it you do your PhD. Now, while doing this, if you have the acumen, the capability of simultaneously doing physics, if it's your passion, I've got no problem. But number one is dawah. For example, my daughter, my youngest daughter, she has a passion for physics. But she knows the purpose of life. So now she is doing a graduation in Princess Noora University in Riyadh. It is one of the best universities for the women in the world. And one of the section is the Islamic section. She'll be finishing within a couple of months. In 2 months, she'll be finishing, inshallah, the graduation course. But besides that, she's also Hafizul Quran. Every day she revises about 3 juz. During examination, it may be less. On average, 3 juz a day. During Ramadan, it is more. She's Hafizul Quran. She'll be finishing a bachelor's Islamic studies. She'll be doing her master's, inshallah. After finishing a bachelor's, she's doing her dawah activities. She's good with the pen. She has a flair for writing. At the same time, while doing graduation on site in Riyadh, she is even doing bachelor's in physics online in Open UK University. Now, Open UK University doing online bachelor's is very expensive. But she has the ability. She gives most of the time for the Islamic studies and for dawah and for hifz. Few hours, maybe in a week, she may be giving for a bachelor's in physics. The moment she finishes the examination of Islamic studies, she gives the examination of bachelor's. Now, because she has the capacity, she has the memory, she has the acumen, she wants to do physics, and I gave her permission. But if she just said, I'll do physics, I'll not do dawah, I will not do bachelor's in Islamic studies, I would not be happy. I would not permit her. My son, if he says, I want to become a doctor because you're a doctor, I would say, you're foolish. Why do you want to spend 5.5 years in doing medicine? And a dai is much more superior. Allah gave me hidayah late, and I'm happy that I was a doctor. That was Allah's plan. But today you don't have to become a doctor and a dai. You can specialize in Islam. So mashallah, he's finished his graduation from Jamiatul Imam University in Riyadh. Now he's doing his masters in the IIUM, International Islamic University of Malaysia. Why should you do medicine? But if you really have the flair, if you have the acumen, if you have the capacity, like my daughter, and you like to do both, no problem. But if you don't have, best would be become a dai. Try to become the best. If not the best, even if you become medium, even if you become the lowest level of dai, it will get you ajr in the akhirah much more than becoming a scientist. Hope that answers the question.